Hello and welcome to Transfer Talks. This is a video series created to highlight our university partners and to help connect students with their transfer institution. My name is Lauren Peerbold. I am a transfer specialist at Joliet Junior College. With us today is Keith Wynn, Assistant Director of Transfer Recruitment at the University of Kentucky. Keith, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure, Lauren. Thank you for having me. Okay, so first of all, I want to say I'm very happy to be here today talking with students from Joliet, and I'm going to go over some pertinent information about UK in this presentation that is applicable to transfer students. I do want to point out that UK has over 200 majors. That's typical of a large research institution, and of course UK is a large research institution, and I want to use that to segue into the second point here. What's not typical about UK for a large research institution is that we have a 16-to-1 student to faculty ratio. You're not going to come into UK as a transfer student and be in classes of 300 and 400 people. Typically, you're going to be in smaller classes by virtue of being a transfer student because you're going to have a lot of those general education courses already completed. 85% of the courses at UK have 50 or fewer students. That's actually a fact that surprises a lot of transfer students, and it's something I always love pointing out because you're not going to come to UK and just be lost in a sea of blue. I say blue because that's our school color. You will actually get to know people and learn their names because of the class sizes typically being 50 or fewer students, especially for transfer students. Now, if you come to UK and you're struggling in a subject, which often happens for any college student, we do have a lot of learning centers on campus and tutoring centers on campus. So if you're struggling in math, we have something called the Math Skiller. It's a free math tutoring lab. We have a writing lab if you're struggling with your paper for your class. If you're putting together a presentation for a course and you need some pointers, we have something called Presentation U, and that's the letter U, not the word U. We also have biology and chemistry labs, or excuse me, tutoring centers. So you have a lot of tutoring services at your disposal as a University of Kentucky student. Next slide, please. Okay, so here are some important dates and deadlines for students transferring into UK. So if you are looking at transferring in the fall application deadline would be July the 1st. Now, something I want to always add to this is just because you can wait until July 1st to apply does not mean you should, okay? It is always going to behoove you to apply early. So as a transfer student, let's say, for example, you have 5 schools you're considering transferring to in the fall, and let's say it's February. I would go ahead and apply to all 5 of those schools as soon as you can, because ideally you want to be accepted as early as possible into hopefully multiple schools, and that gives you some time to decide which of those schools you ultimately want to come to, because when you are accepted into a university, that does not commit you to that university. So if you apply early to UK and you get accepted early to UK for the fall, that doesn't mean you have to come to UK, but it does mean you are accepted early, which is important for things like scholarship deadlines, which we'll talk about here in a couple minutes. You can see the other deadlines here for spring and summer, but always keep in mind the earlier the better as far as applying. And the FAFSA, I'm sure you all know what the FAFSA is. It's the free application for federal student aid that you're going to fill out every year. The new one always opens up October 1st, so that's obviously very important to fill out every year. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have 2 categories of transfer students at UK. On the left-hand side, this is only going to apply to you if you are transferring in 23 or fewer credit hours. So we will need your college transcripts, your high school transcripts, official test scores. However, we are now test optional, so you have the option of including your test scores or not, and a $50 application fee. On the right-hand side, if you are transferring in 24 or more college credit hours, we only need your college transcripts and the application fee. Now, you notice here at the bottom, to be accepted into UK as a transfer student, once we calculate your GPA, you know, if you've attended multiple schools, we calculate everything together. As long as that is a 2.0 or above, then you will qualify for transfer admission into UK. One thing I do want to add, if you have repeated a course at an institution, so let's say that you took Intro to Psychology the first time and you got a D, and you took it again and got an A. we take the D and the A both. So that's just very important to know that when we calculate GPA, we look at all of the courses that you have taken. And the $50 application fee, I'm going to talk to you about a way you can get that waived here in a few minutes as well. Okay, so we have some academic scholarships. So for out-of-state students, and of course Joliet students would be out-of-state students, the bottom line would be applicable to you. So as long as you're transferring into UK with a 3.00 or above, and you've earned 24 or more college credit hours, you will get minimum $4,000 annual per year, and that's renewable for up to 2 years, so that would be $2,000 per semester. Now, these transfer scholarships at the moment are available only for fall students, not for spring students. I'm hoping that we can get that changed eventually, but for now, these transfer scholarships are for fall students. You see also there at the very top, admission deadline, June 15th. That's yet another reason that you want to apply early. You notice that the application deadline was July 1st, which of course is after June 15th. So just always apply early wherever you're thinking of, because it's always going to make a difference with things like scholarships and such. Okay, so in addition to the scholarships on the previous slide, which you can think of those as merit scholarships because they're automatically given because of that GPA, the scholarships on this slide are competitive transfer scholarships. Now, the one applicable to out-of-state students is going to be the one on the right here, the Phi Theta Kappa or PTK scholarship. I cannot stress this enough. If you are invited to join PTK, please, please, please join. Not only is it a wonderful organization to be a part of, almost every school offers some version of a PTK scholarship for transfer students. So it's just very important to join that organization. So the way it works in UK is if you are transferring in 48 or more earned college credit hours into a fall semester and you have a 3.5000 GPA or above, you can qualify to apply for one of our PTK scholarships. We give out about 10 per year. And the way it works for out-of-state students, you see here that it says covers full in-state tuition for 2 years. So for out-of-state students, it bridges that gap between full out-of-state tuition and in-state tuition. And it ends up being approximately $18,800 per year in scholarship money. It's a fantastic scholarship. It's our biggest transfer scholarship. So joining PTK, if you are invited, definitely can pay off in the long run. So this is the cost of attendance per semester. You can see the difference here between in-state and out-of-state. And as I mentioned earlier, that PTK scholarship, if you get that, that changes the $15,647 to $6,242. So it's about $9,400 per semester in scholarship money, so about $18,800 per year, as I mentioned previously. Now, if you're taking online courses at UK, there is like a technology fee that's assessed. So the online courses are billed at a separate and different rate. Keep in mind this tuition, these tuition prices are for the 2021-2022 academic year. The ones for the following year have not been set yet. That typically happens sometime in the summer once the Board of Trustees gets together and determines tuition. Okay, so I mentioned earlier the $50 application fee. I'm all about saving students some money. So on our website, we have something called Transfer Tuesdays. I think we have maybe 6 or 7 this spring. Our next one is February the 2nd, if you want to just write that down. That is a way where if you fill out your application that day as a transfer student, your fee is waived. Your fee is waived. So always go to that website and you can see the different Transfer Tuesday dates that we offer throughout each semester because it's a penny saved is a penny earned, or in this case, $50 saved is $50 earned. Okay, this is something I strongly suggest any student who's even thinking about transferring into UK to do. This is a free service. It's fantastic. You just go to this link here. It's called Transfer Advising. You will look at Kelsey and Corey's calendars. You will just choose whichever time and date works for you. You book a virtual appointment with them. It takes place via Zoom. You will upload your Joliet transcript while you make that appointment, your unofficial Joliet transcript. And then prior to the meeting, they will plug your classes into the degree that you're thinking about pursuing at UK. And they basically do a free transcript evaluation for you. And it's a degree audit. You know, you can actually get a plan on, okay, these are the way my courses are going to transfer in. These are going to be the courses that I have left after I transfer in, and then you kind of have a plan right there in front of you. I don't like ambiguity. A lot of transfer students don't like ambiguity, so this is a good way to know before you even decide that your classes are going to transfer in this way. Furthermore, they can also work with you. Let's say you're not looking to transfer until next year. They can kind of tell you, okay, in your next 2 semesters, take these classes because they will most seamlessly transfer into this degree. So definitely book one of those transfer advising sessions. Okay, well, that was a little bit about the University of Kentucky. It has been an honor and privilege to be here presenting to you today. And please feel free to reach out there at the email at the bottom, uktransfer@uky.edu, with any questions, concerns, random thoughts, and we will be happy to address those.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Keith.
You are very welcome, Lauren. My pleasure.
We'll see you next time on Transfer Talks.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.